We're getting a packed show this morning, bright and early. So thank you for joining with us. Again, as always, I got a beautiful panel with me today. From my left, starting there, got Chris Lucci. How you been?
Yo, what's good? Happy Friday.
Excellent. Our latest and greatest have. How's your morning?
It's going great so far.
Good. I love it. Kyle Murph.
What's good, everybody?
And of course, down in LA, Mr. Aaron Miller.
What's good?
Beautiful. All right, getting right to it. Have I want to start with you because as of earlier this week, Team USA had an excellent game, but the narrative centered around the game wasn't the fact that they won or blew out teams or anything like that, or how well they even played. It was more or less that my gosh, Caitlin and Paige were both benched and they did not start. So from a branding standpoint, does bringing two of the biggest stars right now in women's basketball and Caitlin and Paige off the bench hurt marketability for Team USA?
That's not in here right now.
Ashley, we'll start with you.
Okay. Um, I mean, you can say that, yeah, a little bit, because those are two of the biggest names in the WNBA in women's basketball, right now. So yeah, like it's gonna hurt a little bit, but that's never gonna be my priority personally.
Mm, interesting. What do you think about that?
I'm kind of on the same page. I wanted to pull up the roster so I don't misspeak. I mean, you got Jackie Young, you got Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray. I'm not saying the talent, the skill is better. I know there's better guards that probably fit the starting five rather than a score first Caitlin Clark. I'm questionable about Paige because I think she's an all around player. So maybe she could start, but I guess they're going seniority. It doesn't hurt. They're still playing minutes. So I don't think it matters that much. If you want to watch the game, if you're a fan of the game, you'll love all these players on the court no matter what time it is.
I mean, this is also Caitlin's first game in like almost a year for real. So
Mm-hmm.
that one you can't really say anything. And Paige is the youngin. At the end of the day, like there can't be that much. They're both youngins. They're both what? Caitlin's what, year two technically?
Yeah.
Technically year two. So I wouldn't have that much expectation on that.
Mm. So I guess my question would be, if you guys are saying that technically they're not the best players, Chris had this debate with us early on, and we talked to Lexi about this too. When it comes to growing the league, I know they're in a space right now where it's transcending. One of the narratives that was being pushed last year was when you're trying to grow a league and you look at just the market aspect of it, would having Paige or Caitlin, players that are bringing exposure right now and a new fan base, would you want to prioritize experience right now, or maybe putting a fresh set of eyes on Team USA?
Um, hmm. I think Team USA is always different than like an unrivaled or a W game or a AU game. Like their main priority is winning. They don't care about viewership. I mean, I don't know if you can always watch all the games anyway. So I think their main priority is winning. And then, I mean, like I said, I'm questionable about Paige. I think you can achieve targeting marketability and viewership if Paige were to start. Here they go. If Paige were to start, because she is coming off of Unrivaled, that was a lot of attention on her. So I think if she were to start, you could still continue that. Caitlin, like Ashley said, has not played. Her choice, whatever. She doesn't have to, but that's the only thing.
I forgot the damn question because I saw that. Just repeat the last part because I know you said it's about marketability and stuff. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you compromise prioritizing talent, like the actual best players and the experience you have when you're trying to grow something by placing people like Paige and Caitlin, where you can have a fresh set of eyes, getting their fan
Um,
bases.
I I see what you're saying, but I think that we've seen that it's definitely picky and choosy when it comes to that, because I think if you have that conversation, then you would wonder why women's basketball, why the WNBA wouldn't prioritize utilizing Angel Reese more, because that was another part of it too. So I think that it's definitely they have that mindset when they want to have that mindset. But I like me. I'm I'm always I want to think about basketball first, and I think that that's a lost art in a lot of things. So, um, and I also agree with Hev that USA Basketball is a whole different entity. Like that's not necessarily about viewership. That's not necessarily like the priority with that as well.
I love that. So my question for you and for the rest of the panel too on this one, when you look at the guards in the W, I know, I mean, have you alluded to that they're not the best per se right now? So my question is, who do you think is the most complete guard in the W right now when you look at like Chelsea Grays and the Pages and everyone's people want to say Caitlin, so I'm just throwing a name out there. But who's the most complete guard in the W right now?
What do we like? What are the qualifiers for complete guard? Are we talking passing, impact on your teammates, making your teammates better, shooting, scoring? Like, what do we mean?
I think
Similar-
everything you just said.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna go. Okay, that this is contradicting though. I think Paige
I'm
is.
Oh,
I think Paige is the most
Yeah.
complete guard in the W. No question. She does everything.
Yeah,
But,
no, I was
yeah.
gonna say the same thing. And to me, being the most complete player isn't always necessarily being the best player, in a lot of ways. So I would say Paige as well is the most complete player. She's gonna give effort on defense. It's not like she's a traffic cone. She has a midi, she has a 3-point. She's gonna get to the basket whenever she wants to. She has that passing ability. There's not a whole lot that you can say like, oh, that is the weakness of Paige's game. And I also think that her impact, especially as a rookie, was undeniable. And especially when the wings are able to, I don't know if getting the right pieces was the problem, but getting her in a system that's going to best utilize her and her teammates so they can be a complete and competitive organization.
I love that. Gentlemen, any comments on that?
Yeah, TOG Network. Nigga, I thought you said you was leaving. Like, the fuck? You still here? Go get you a coffee and some breakfast, bro. You hating this damn early shit. God damn.
I mean, but again, he raises a sentiment that a lot of fucking fans share that Caitlin is shit. Fuck me, but better than sometimes she truly is. So I mean, is there any is there any debate that can be made that Caitlin is a complete guard?
No. Jesus, let me be careful. I like her game. Let me be careful. The rebounding aspect is not there, and you can say that's not a point guard's job, but then you look at Paige, does it very well. The defense, a little sketchy. You could say a size, but I think it's just capability. It's just some people are just not capable of guarding at that level, and Paige is. When you're comparing the two, somebody brought up Kelsey Mitchell. Rebounding again, you just have to look at every aspect of the game, and Paige checks off those boxes. If you want to talk about complete player,
She do average 5 rebounds a game though. I mean, that's solid for a point guard.
yeah.
Nobody gets upset though when a point guard doesn't get, like 8 to 10 rebounds because they know it's like that's not their job.
Yeah.
Especially when you got if you got a leading rebounder on your team or 2 elite rebounders on your team, ain't many rebounds to go around.
Yeah.
For real. I'm not mad at the Kelsey Mitchell comparison. Like if you want to talk about most complete and you bring up Kelsey Mitchell versus Paige, okay. But CC
Yeah. No, I agree. I also think that a lot of people think when they think of Caitlin Clark, they're thinking of her greatness in college. And I think that when she came to the W, she definitely did what she had to do. But to me, it didn't, I don't know, it was a little bit different because I feel like in the W, they were able to crack down a little bit on her defensively. it was I won't say necessarily easier, but we saw her being stopped and pressured a little bit more than we saw in college. She struggled a little bit more. Not to say that she wasn't great, that she wasn't like a good basketball player, the rookie of the year, but she struggled a little bit more, and you would expect that in coming into the W. But I just feel like in coming in, you saw her weaknesses get exposed a little bit more than you saw Paige get exposed when she came into the W. So that's why between those two, it's a little bit different.
That's a good point. I also think when we look at Paige, and she's quickly becoming one of my favorite players to watch in the W, I look at her as probably the most, if we're going to talk about complete, I want to throw on the most fundamentally complete too. Just like every aspect of her game, as you mentioned, is there. And I don't know. I'm excited to see how she plays out in the next 4 or 5 years. But let's see. Like, Mitchell, the best guard on our team.
Complete is not best, bruh. It's okay.
He can't even spell Kelsey
He
right.
can't-
I'm not paying attention.
He woke up choosing violence.
You ain't never been mad. You know what I'm saying? You don't type shit right when you mad. Come on, man.
Well, take a deep breath. And sound out these words. All right.
But again, that's not the conversation right now. We were talking about complete, not necessarily the best player. And I also think that Chelsea Mitchell was able to show who she was this year without Caitlin being there. It opened some space. And I think that that Indiana Fever would be doing a disservice if Caitlin came back and they forced Kelsey Mitchell back into a box and didn't allow them to play at their highest level together.
What a great segue. It's like a similar situation in the NBA right now.
Continue that.
That's you. That's you.
Oh, fuck.
He would have loved that. You should have ran with it.
I know. Golly. All right. As of March 2026, Jaylen Brown, who I think actually most of us in here think he should definitely be in the MVP conversation, if not leading it, is averaging about 28, just over 28, 7 and 5, leading that Celtics team and having them in a spot that's been in the top 3 damn near all season, especially as JT was sidelined for majority of that. My question to start the convo on this subject is, JB says that the MVP criteria constantly moves, and just every time he seems to meet the bar, it's not there for him. Is being punished for that Celtics depth and that system and the way that they've been able to move without JT hurting him? And is he the clear-cut MVP for keeping Boston at that number 2 seed without JT?
I mean, when it comes to the MVP in the NBA, like the standard has always been like the MVP goes to the best player on the best team, right? Or it goes to the best player on a team that's doing the most with the least amount of help, right? But I don't know what the media's agenda is or critique of JB is. I don't know what they have against him. It's just baffling. Like what he's done this season was not expected at all.
Crazy. Yeah.
But yet the only thing they're highlighting on JB on, big media platforms is that shit that was going on with his hair. That's it. That's all they was talking about, was him leaving stains on niggas' jerseys. All right. And they just completely ignored the fact that he's carried this team to a second seed in the East when they were supposed to finish last. They were projected to finish last and 16th overall in the NBA. But all you want to talk about is him and his Beijing hairline. That just shows that they're not even watching or paying attention or acknowledging the situation of the Celtics right now, what he's done for them. So, I mean, I see his frustration because I have a strong feeling they're going to find some way to hoe him and not give him first team All NBA. I seriously see that happening. They're going to try to hoe him. I'm not saying he don't deserve it, but I seriously see them trying to like hoe him in some way.
I genuinely hope not. Go ahead, Kyle.
I said that'd be crazy. I just don't think the media is taking him serious. Like when he won the MVP, there was an argument about when he won the MVP. There's an argument about his left hand. He couldn't hoop. He couldn't go to his left, and Now it's like you said, they talking about his Beijing one, and they talk about what he's actually doing for the Celtics when they were projected to do nothing, and then they're just not taking him serious as good of a player he is.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, obviously JB is your guy that we all know, and you've been around the league long enough to see perspectives that go higher up. When a player publicly questions MVP or really any criteria in terms of the league, does that help their case or hurt their reputation around the league going forward?
That's a great question and a tough one. I think he needs to say something, because for me to meet the MVP race is a popularity contest, and he is not looked upon from a popularity contest the way he would like to be. So I think you can't just sit on the side and just continue to hope, that it's going to go down, that you're going to continue to get the people going to start liking you. And I'm not saying that he's not liked. I'm simply saying that he's not the most popular guy, to be perceived as that guy, right? And he's playing with a light-skinned brother. You feel me?
They don't push dark-skinned, dude.
Yeah, they playing with a light-skinned. Who's a darling of the league, you know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. So he knows that, I believe. So coming out and speaking about it, that's who he is, right? He calls people out. He calls out the shoe industry. He calls out agent industry. He calls people out. He doesn't have a problem with sharing his thoughts, and I believe that he should. From a value standpoint, I believe it puts people on the clock, right? Like, you bring some attention to it, and then if he falls in the voting, if he's fifth, fourth, eighth, whatever it is in the voting, then he put an emphasis on that. Put a target on the voters' back a little bit of like, damn, dude had a good point. Why do y'all have him so low? Because I believe that he knows that he probably won't win it just off popularity. Although I believe that the criteria, if we're talking about if you remove him off the team based off what was expected, like how good would Boston be if he wasn't on the team? So I believe that was the criteria that Steve Nash used when he got 2 MVPs. That criteria was the same argument that Jaylen would have right now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Jaylen or Cade this year, I don't see an argument for anybody else. Yeah, especially with the restrictions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Aaron, Ashley, as a player, how frustrating, because we've all competed for awards, but how frustrating can it become when narratives like that start to outweigh what you're actually doing on the court? Again, when you're up for these awards, or at least should be in talking points.
Ashley, you got this.
I think you muted.
Can't hear you.
Muted.
Oh, sorry. I think that's incredibly frustrating. And I also think that it's not even always about the award. You can see that and experience that when you're trying to fight for minutes, when you're trying to fight for a spot, when you're like in every aspect that often outweighs what's actually happening. And I think that that's definitely doing a misservice to players, to the team, and to realistically giving who deserves what needs to get what they deserve. So yeah, I would say that it's beyond frustrating.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. It seems like Chris said, it's a popularity contest, and when it comes to popularity contest, whoever's voting, it's based on whether or not they like you. All right. And it just seems like, media members just don't like Jaylen for whatever reason. Maybe like in an interview or whatnot, he kind of, slighted somebody, or he didn't answer the question the way they wanted to. So, all right, I'll remember this when it's time for me to vote for you for an accolade. All right. And to that, I say, get out your fucking feelings. God damn.
Everybody voting with emotions instead of facts.
Exactly. Like, get out your fucking feelings.
I'm
sorry, I didn't answer the question the way you wanted me to, so you can get your rocks off in your fucking little blog or your article and shit like that. And like, dog, take that shit out of it. Watch the game. When you watch it, are you seeing MVP caliber status? Are you acknowledging the fact that he has carried this team for literally the entire season when nobody expected shit? Take that into consideration.
Right.
Comment on TikTok.
That's crazy.
Like, why would that don't even make no sense?
Yeah.
No, I think D. Let me. I think that the thing about the MVP is not just numbers, right? It's always the timing, it's a storyline, and it's an opportunity. I think JB is, he's, first of all, you got to keep your name in the conversation by communicating and using a platform. If nobody else is going to use it and speak about you, then you speak about it yourself. And then I think he needs more of that. He needs a storyline. You know what I mean? And now that his running mate is back, I'm not so sure how much that's going to help his case. So coming out publicly right now is good timing, if you will, to kind of keep his name in the conversation and hopefully help push the narrative of his storyline.
I will say real quick, the same reason LeBron doesn't have 15 MVPs
Right.
is the same reason Jaylen Brown won't win this MVP. It's not happening. And I got no reason to side with him. I have a deep-seated hate for the Celtics. He is the clear MVP. He won't win it. It's just that simple.
So then 2 questions off that. First, before we get to your deep-rooted hate for Boston, is this accurate? Is it either Jaylen or Cade this year?
It should be.
It
Who
should
else?
be, but they're gonna most likely give it to SGA.
That's ridiculous. I can't.
I'm not saying he should get it. I'm just
No,
saying
I know.
that's where it's leaning towards,
Mhm.
especially since he just broke that 20-point consecutive streak
Yeah.
that Wilt held for a whole damn near 75 years or whatever the case may be, and his team is number 1. All right.
He
That's
didn't play enough. And I mean, clearly you can see if you take him off, I'm not saying they're the best team. They're still capable of doing what they're doing with him hurt when he was off.
Yeah.
And you look at Detroit and you look at the Celtics, you take away Cade, you take away JB, it's disturbing. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't have a winning record. They'd be exactly where they were before. And the Celtics would be where everyone thought they should have been. So it's those two.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, but I just see where they're leaning towards.
Mhm.
Like, they're trying to discredit JB, and they're trying to say that if Cade, Cade's been having a stretch of bad games towards the end of the season, and the only person that I guess is, thriving right now and still being consistent is SGA. So they're going to be like, all right, makes sense. I feel like the last 20 games of an NBA season determines. It's cool, but the one at the bottom is rubbing me wrong. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. First of all, why you want me to rub you anyway? Weird ass nigga.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. That's nice of you.
Damn.
That's crazy. My last thing on this segment, just because it came from this specific topic, and you're a Knicks fan, will they make history and win the finals?
Oh, answer that. Realistically, just because like you have to, the regular season has to mean something at some point, or rest, what are we playing for? Somebody else has to beat the Pistons. And I don't blame the actual Knicks on the floor. I actually blame Mike Brown. I blame the firing of Tom, even though I didn't like him the most. He brought the best out of the Knicks. It was clear as day. So no, I don't think they win it. I think they can still get there. It is very possible for them to still get there because they are amongst the top 4 teams. And when you look at the top 4 teams in the East, they're all flawed. They all have something wrong with them. So I think they can still get there. They're not winning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for blaming Mike Brown. I want you to go at Unc real quick. First of all, why do you blame Mike Brown?
Okay, hold on. I think on the offensive side, he's made us a tad bit better regarding the fact that we don't have to rely just on Jalen Brunson. But then you look at Jalen Brunson and he's not playing the same, and neither is Cat. I blame Mike Brown for the defense. It says overall we are a better defensive team, but when the game is on the line, that heart is missing. That extra drive, I want to win no matter what, that doesn't exist anymore. And Tibbs just didn't allow that. Like, you could just see, you could feel it. When I went to the Knicks game, you could feel it. And I thought Jose was going to bring that. Then minutes dwindle. It's like, I don't know what his goal is. I don't think he knows his goal, because I also believe the players aren't showing up consistently, excuse me. So I'm not just going to blame him on his own. But firing Tibbs was not the answer. It was never the answer.
All right. Well, you want Unc to chime in, Big B?
Yes, because that's why he brought it up.
Of course. Yeah, I'm a Mike Brown fan. I think he does a hell of a job. You have some valid points. I think that in this situation, Mike is brought in for the championship run. He's not brought in to break records in the regular season. The Knicks have already done whatever they've done. They've positioned themselves as a threat, as a should-be leader, if you will, in the Eastern Conference. So none of that matters anymore. Oh, we won 6 more games. Oh, man, we finished first. None of that matters. Like, you're literally going to be judged on the playoffs. And I believe that Mike you talked about it, right? They're not relying on Jaylen. Well, in the past, you relied on Jaylen to be a super duper superstar in the playoffs and carry the load to get you as far as he can potentially get you. 1 game shy, 1-3 short, whatever the case may be. And they have to be a different team in order to go farther. In order for them to be a championship level team, they can't rely on that. And yes, whoever came with the comment about Cat being a little soft, that's also a part of it. So I think it's very important for Mike to figure out who else they have, who else can step up, and who else can be comfortable with different roles, so that when teams try to exploit or focus on, you're not going to be exploiting, but focus on or kind of take the ball out of Jaylen's hands, that they're a better team and prepared to win without him carrying the load and making all these heroic shots in the fourth quarter to win games.
OG just hasn't been consistent in big wing defender. Yeah.
Don't get me started on him. Like, I can't. I cannot with OG. And what I cannot with OG. My father loves that man, and I just don't see it. I don't think he's terrible. He's so inconsistent. I could pick apart his game every game.
Is that something? Is that a thought that you shared most of this season, or you felt that way last year too? Because I thought he was pretty solid last year.
No, I felt that way last year. I felt that way last year. My thoughts have never changed on the Knicks. I just think now the problems that I saw before are on the forefront because they don't have that heart, that grit. That's what it looks like to me. And they don't have someone who's going to push them past their limit right now. Don't know what Mike is going to do when the playoff comes.
Gotcha. We have a couple things on TikTok again that you can't see. Bro was saying the Celtics will win the East because Detroit doesn't have enough. Cade in foul trouble, and they done. We talked about how heavily they have to rely on Cade, so I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. Someone also said the Knicks are and forever will be done. And lastly, Big Cat. They say lastly, Big Cat is AKA Drake. Can't stay on the floor when they need him. Let's not do the Drake slander. Huh?
Thank you for that Drake slander.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, obviously some great points on the MVP race. I think every year, and the sentiment that JB's sharing, I think every year does obviously change, and that's something we've all had an opinion on, depending on who's in that conversation. But in terms of narratives and how careers can actually change based on certain decisions that we make, I want to move into our next topic. There was a moment about 7 years back when Jaylen Brown was seriously considering leaving the Boston Celtics. And it was a quote unquote, he questioned whether that success that he could have would ever come in Boston alongside Tatum, and whether or not he should push for a trade. This is something I had not considered, even thought would be a mindset. But essentially, as of right now, my question, I want you to take this, Chris, is What's more valuable for legacy, loyalty or finding the right situation?
Wait, from a team perspective, we're talking about player. You're saying dynasty or legacy? What do you?
What's more valuable for your legacy, loyalty or finding the right situation?
The legacy is going to be about winning. Wow, your legacy is going to be about winning. So I would have to go. Me personally, as an individual and as a fan, right? I'm all loyalty. Everything about me is loyalty. Period. I stand on loyalty. But unfortunately, your legacy, right? People, your fans at that time, they're going to remember you. But a legacy applies to history. So history is going to, people don't forgot Charles Barkley was good. So they don't forgot about all of that. Oh, AI, yeah, he was for the culture. He was all right. That's loyalty. So legacy is going to be tied to winning. So in that case, you got to make the best decision. So choosing the right situation where you can have tremendous success, that's going to add the most value to your legacy. Unfortunately.
Aaron, I'm going to come to you on this. So I obviously imagine the NBA today, if T-Mac hadn't had that conversation with JB, no 2024 championship maybe, no finals MVP definitely for him. So was that the most important vet to star advice that you can think of in modern NBA history?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because T-Mac lived the alternative. Like, he left a winning situation in Toronto with Vince, and that's his cousin. That's his family, literally, like blood. So he could become a scoring champ in Orlando, but he never had that team success, right? So he knew that being the man on the losing team it's a lonely peak. I mean, by staying, Brown landed the richest contract in NBA history at one point, $304 million, secured a 2024 NBA championship and a Finals MVP. If he had been traded to a mid-tier team during that 2019 offseason, he likely wouldn't have that hardware now. We don't know. But I mean, staying in Boston's winning culture, it forced him to become like one of the league's best two-way players, right? Instead of him, focused solely on scoring, he might not have developed the defensive discipline that makes him an MVP candidate now.
D, put that comment up that someone talked about. That's a good comment. I want to comment on that.
Which?
This is a Steph Curry versus KD.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But the question is, see, in that scenario, Steph won a championship. And there's very few people that have had the opportunity to just ride it out with one organization. You know what I mean? And typically, if a person is going to ride it out, they're going to ride it out because they're winning. So if you remove championships from Golden State, if they didn't put it together and win a championship, if they kept getting close and pretty good and didn't cross that bridge, now if Steph Curry was questioned later, no championships, and now had to make a decision, what does he do? Does he ride it out and just stay loyal to Golden State at that point? Like, that loyalty is still tied to winning. So you would have to go with, like, say, LeBron staying in Cleveland after not winning on the first go around. That would have been blind loyalty. And so that would have been a legacy. That's different, in my opinion. But I love that. I love that point.
I also think when it comes to talking about the greatest of the greats, if we didn't put so much emphasis on people needing to have a championship for their legacy to be solidified, then we can have more organic and just truthful conversations about who they are. And then we would probably see a little bit less people like, chasing that ring and finding that loyalty and trying to build something and everything, this, that, and the third. But now, because now, even when we talk about the past greats, we have people like AI, and the first thing people are going to say is that he doesn't have a ring. And that's like, obviously, and yes, it's a blemish on your legacy, but then that doesn't take away from everything else that you are able to do. So I also put a lot of that on the conversations that the media and fans and that everybody else in between has in terms of who is the greatest and why.
Then my question is, because we're always trying to grow as a platform and push narratives that we think obviously could elevate the game and elevate us as a company. If that's the thoughts that you're sharing, Ashley, how do you think that we can improve upon making sure we're talking about the game better?
I would say that the argument about rings and everything like that has to kind of fall back a little bit in the conversation, because I would say we even fall to that. Like, that's one of the first things that we bring up is like, oh, but he doesn't have a ring. Oh, this, that, and the third. Oh, but if he didn't leave, then he probably wouldn't have a ring, and that we use that as a justification. And for me, I'm similar to Chris. Like, I'm partial to loyalty. Like, that's part of the, like, especially as a Laker fan growing up, like, that's one of the things that holds Kobe so near and dear to our hearts, is that he stuck around. He didn't even have to, but he did what he had to do, and now he's one of the all-time greats. And not everybody's story is going to be like that, but if we want to see more stories like that, then yeah, the conversation needs to shift.
I can appreciate that. Aaron, do you have anything on that? I know you and I talked about this a lot.
I mean, I get it. This is a tough one for me. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. What was your question again? I ain't gonna sit up here and cap. I completely forgot the question. I was focused on what Ashley was saying. I forgot what even question you asked her.
How can we shift our narratives to get away from talking about ring culture when we're debating who's the greatest of all time, and how we can appreciate the game itself?
Oh, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going away at all. All right. They're always going to push rings. All right. Because take a look at Jayson Tatum's situation. Right. He was winning early and they held it against him, or they're holding it against him now. Right. Whereas before, it was like it was okay in your early stages of your career to, like, get all these accolades, and then we push that ring narrative. He won early and got his ring, but now we're pushing the narrative like, oh, you don't have an MVP yet, or is this even your team again? Now we're doing that, or big media, I should say, is doing that. So it all depends on whatever big media wants to push at that moment in time. They flip-flop all the time. They flip-flop their MVP criteria. They flip-flop the ring conversation. They flip-flop the GOAT debate. It's never ending. That'll never go away.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of culture, systems, players that buy in, loyalty, all that brings me to, again, another interesting topic that's really happening in Boston right now, because Joe Mazzulla recently led Boston team themselves decide on their own lineup, essentially coaching themselves during a stretch of the game, which I don't have a problem with. But now people are seeing that as a sign of an incredible locker room culture, which I think it is. But others are asking a question of, like, is Boston's system so strong at this point that you could bring in another coach and the team wouldn't miss a beat? Kyle, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. But no, I think it's more a testament to Joe Mazzulla than it is to them saying that they don't need a coach. Like, I don't believe that, even though these are the best people, these are the best league in the world, and NBA players, like, you need some type of leadership that's off the court that can see what you don't see. And so, like, Joe Mazzulla, like, he's built that team. He's been through all the turmoil when it came to Ime getting out of there and then Joe picking up. Like, he's doing what he needs to do. They just have a great team. He has the opportunity to be able to allow his team to make that decision because they are good enough and they have that chemistry. So I think he's doing great. This is more of a testament to him than a negative for him.
Have last pod, you said you believe coaches should have more powers. As a player, do you think you actually perform better when the coach has that authority, can empower a locker room like that to let them do their own thing? Or do you think teams still need a very strong voice leading the front?
When I said that last pod, that definitely was, like, in terms of the whole franchise, the whole organization, the coaches need more power than the owners and the GMs. But for the locker rooms, I think it's fine. I think it's fine if a team is able to lead themselves because they're on the court at the end of the day in the 48 minutes of basketball. Practice is where the coach should probably be harping on the most. And that's probably what happens with Joe. I'm not there, so I don't know. I would assume he's not doing anything. He's probably on them in practice. And so they're prepared. They already know what he wants from them. So when it gets game time, they're already all on the same page. So he doesn't have to do as much.
I love it. Any other sentiments on this?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You got it.
No, go ahead. We need you in there. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. I like this because, like, this is typical Joe. I remember, like, when he got his first coaching opportunity in the same conference I was playing in,
Hall of Fame.
His early years. And this is exactly what he did with that team that we would play against. Like, when you have a great team, the players coach themselves. All right. San Antonio did this all the time. Coach Pop let Tony, Manu, and Tim sometimes run huddles. You would see the assistant coaches and Pop standing outside, be like, "Nah, let them do their thing." So, like, by removing himself from the equation, Joe is forcing players to take extreme ownership. Right? When players pick the starters, they aren't just choosing the names; they're also choosing accountability. Right? So, if the lineup fails, they can't look at the bench and be like, they have to look at each other. And most coaches, like, they hold on to power out of fear of losing it. So he uses power sharing as a tool to build confidence. And telling the assistants to essentially stay out of it is not a sign of disrespect. I see it as a challenge to the players to prove that they don't need a leash. I mean, a coach-led team can win a game, but a player-led team can lead to a dynasty.
I love it.
Because, yeah. Foundations
Hold on, dog. Go bing, bing, bing. You know what I mean? You get your head up.
Foundations already built. I just had one little statement. That's it.
Go ahead. I'm messing with you.
No, you get it. That's all I was saying. I was just saying foundations built, so they're just building off the structure. They're building off the foundation. So
yeah, no, I think we're kind of all in agreement with this, that we like this. Freedom works when discipline already exists, and clearly they have discipline, in the organization. My sentiment on this is like Boston they've made the long run multiple years in a row, right? Mm-hmm. So they playing a long time. They play in the June. They playing 82, and then they playing all the way into June. They're in the finals. They winning it. They coming close. They falling short because of of an injury, whatever the case may be. So they're in the hunt every single season. So it's long. You gotta shake it up a little bit. You gotta make shit fun. You know what I mean? So allowing them to, you take a game, you like, let them coach, let them figure out who's the starter, so on and so forth. You give them some moments to be monumental and fun and unique and different. That's awesome. You have a guy draw up a play. That makes it fun. Give them something different, fun to do so that they come to work. If you got a regular job out there and you go to work and your boss come up and he bring some fucking donuts, you're like, oh, damn, what happened today? Or he bring coffee for everybody, your favorite latte, if you will, cappuccino. Like, mix it up. Or he tell you, hey, shit, we off today. We're going to go meet at such and such. That's what I think this is. I mean, like, they got another long haul to prepare for. It can't continue. It can't just be stagnant and boring every single day. Obviously, it's their job, and obviously that's the goal. But mix that shit up, man. Make it a little bit of fun. That's what I see with this.
Yeah, we didn't have it going this way, but something that I want to push right now, since we're on the subject, is obviously his resume, right? So if he's able to win this season, it will be a two-time NBA champion as a head coach, right? Multiple titles early in his career puts him in rare company. Multiple deep playoff runs, Chris, as you just alluded to, Eastern Conference finals conversations. His regular season success, I mean, they've been an elite team with an elite record ever since he's been at the helm of that roster. I think what gets slept on a lot is being able to manage, veteran superstars, especially with egos. But he's done that with Tatum and Brown, Porzingis, Al Horford, and veteran leadership. And then his coaching style. I mean, like, everyone talks about how he is as a coach and how he is as a person, right? But at the same time, you hear stories about him emphasizing decision making. We're talking about right now player accountability in that regard. And then He's winning in a high pressure market, right? Boston is cream of the crop outside of LA and San Antonio in terms of just the pedigree, right? So I think conversation around Joe will start to switch if he's able to win again from like, is he benefiting from a talented roster to is he the best young coach in the league, period? So I want to ask you guys, is Joe Mazzulla the best young coach in the league, period?
Let me ask you this before anybody answers. Does he have any Coach of the Year awards?
I think he does. I think he had it that first year when he took over for Ime. I think so.
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah.
Check that out.
I want to say he does just because when he took over for Ime, like nobody
no.
expected Boston. Oh, he
He
doesn't?
he was not, but he was a finalist for the award.
Finalist. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
All right, so no Coach of the Year awards, and he's had success. He has a championship. I mean, a second championship moves you into the conversation no matter what. Just period. I mean, that's a short list of coaches that have won multiple for sure. I mean, he's definitely going to be, it's going to bring a ton of attention and conversation around that. It possibly me, and I could be very wrong. I tend to shortchange guys that pick up jobs when somebody else laid the foundation before them. That's me personally. I don't know how many other people will take that sentiment and then not reward in coaches, if you will. I think he's a great coach. I really don't want to take anything away from him, but just my natural instinct, right, is that I tend to judge those individuals harder. Panel.
I think to Aaron's point about, the media with JB, the media hates Joe even more. They don't like him.
Oh, yeah.
They don't like him at all. So he'll never get like the credit or recognition he may or may not deserve, like whether we think that or not. So if I say, yeah, I think he's a great young coach, somebody's going to have 50 million reasons why he's not. If I say he's a bad coach, they'll probably agree. And then to Chris's point, where he picked up the foundation, it's almost like the Steve Kerr and Mark Jackson situation. Like you got here with great players and a great team. What else were you supposed to do but win? That's how people look at it. That's how people look at it.
I get that. I get that. But at the same time, like in NBA history, and I'm sure in W somewhere, if we did the research, you've probably seen talented rosters fall apart because the coaching just isn't right. Like every time I think about like KD switching teams, I mean, one of the knocks he has, the thing I always think about is though he's had talented rosters around him, the coaching situation always seems to change during those times because they can't seem to get it together. So I mean, I think we got to give Joe some type of credit, right, for keeping them a championship contender, keeping them focused, being able to make adjustments. You talk about JJ not being able to navigate his Lakers roster, Chris. That has not been an issue with homeboy. So I mean, you don't get no credit for that.
Right.
No, he for sure gets credit for it. Like that's just his personality, man. Like that's just how he is. And people think like he's just putting on a show for the media and whatnot. No, that's really how Joe is. 24/7, 365. Like he does not care. And like have said, the reason why media don't like him is because of the way he answers questions. it's arrogant. I'm not even gonna say arrogant. It's very sarcastic. Comes off like as a smart ass in a way, but that's him all the time.
You know what's funny though is Pop kind of had the same personality,
Literally.
if you will, right? Pop would be sarcastic, but Pop would then turn around and make you laugh. You know what I mean? He would do something funny, but he was very sarcastic and tell people all the time, what type of stupid question is that? But I don't know, maybe because we adored Pop and he was the legacy and long-term, Pop was perceived different. I don't know if that's right or if that's wrong. Probably not right, but what do you guys think about that? Not to shift the narrative, but there's an example of someone that same personality, if you will.
I mean, I think Joe deserves all the credit. Like, if you want to compare him to Pop, then yes, I think he deserves all the credit because at the end of the day, he made him get them there. Like, he didn't get them over the hump, so he built the team. But Joe Mazzulla came in and said, "I got it," and then had it, and he was a lower. It's not like he was a head coach somewhere else in the league and came over. He was an assistant, a lower assistant there, and said, "I got it," and took them over the hump. So I think he deserves a lot of credit. I was just saying the media won't give it to him. And as far as his sarcasm, the media is constantly asking stupid questions all the time. He just is like, I'm not entertaining it. It's a dumb question. He doesn't give them the light of day. So I don't even blame him for that.
Right.
Yeah. And when Ime first got the Celtics head coaching job, usually when Brad Stevens stepped down, Ime stepped in. When a new coach steps in, usually the whole coaching staff, it changes, right? They're going to bring in their guys, but the players of the Celtics team at that moment of time vouched for Joe and said, if you're going to fire everybody, cool, but please keep him.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes that he already had the players on his side before we even foresaw him becoming the head coach of the Boston Celtics. That says a lot right there.
Yeah. One last thought on this, and then we'll move it along. Bro said Steve Kerr is going to get in the Hall of Fame, and Mark Jackson can't get a job coaching kids at the park. Shake my head.
That ain't right.
No, it is not. Ashley, can you take our mid-roll?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to take some time to thank you guys for being in the chat, being responsive and entertaining, just entertaining us while we're entertaining you.
Beautiful. All right, great conversation about coaching and how much credit a coach does deserve when they inherit a roster. I love that. But I want to talk about, obviously, teams trying to figure things out during the season. So I want to shift over to the Western Conference a little bit because the Clippers have quietly pulled off probably one of the most surprising turnarounds in the league this year, especially after looking like they were trying to tank. Dug a deep hole in the beginning of the season. Obviously, Kawhi turned that around, going on that crazy run, fought their way back. Now, they do look like a completely different team after making that trade to get some younger talent. Aaron, is this actually one of the most impressive turnarounds that we've seen this season? Or are the Clippers kind of just playing people in this sentiment?
I mean, I believe it is an impressive turnaround. To go from 6-18 to now 33-32 is impressive, because most teams that start out 6-18, they've already got in their head, yeah, we're going to the lottery. But they didn't have that attitude. And Kawhi even made the comments around that trade deadline area, like it's over now. But I think that was him referring to the 2026 title, not specifically the franchise's long-term outlook. I mean, and since then, with the additions of Darius Garland and Benedict Mather, it fixed the team's biggest issue, which was age. They were the oldest team in terms of average of age in NBA history. Right. But now they have a good group that looks like, for the next 4 or 5 years, like, okay, this is our core right here. And despite the team struggles, like Kawhi was playing or is playing at some of the best basketball of his career, proving that if the Clippers can build a younger, more athletic supporting cast, he can still be a number one option on a contending team. I mean, this turnaround ensures that for 2026, 2027, with momentum, rather than having that rebuilding label.
Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin, obviously great young talent, in my opinion. Darius has some knocks with obviously his injuries and stuff like that. But in terms of leading a young movement alongside Kawhi, are the Clippers actually scarier than they were with the vets, Chris?
Are they more scarier, did you say?
Yeah, are they a scarier team?
I mean, yeah, younger legs. I think they have clearer roles, right? I think Kawhi is, you have to go back and forth with, who's our leader? It's Kawhi. And I think you have a less of an ego overlap. So I think you have more of a structured team as opposed to trying to go with that big, the concept that dominated for years, a big three, a big four, a big whatever. So I think you have more of a team and more defined roles It's kind of cool that, Kawhi being a quiet leader, I think that kind of lasts a little bit longer than leaders that are very loud and outspoken. And he leads with consistency. And so consistency when he's playing, not consistency from the standpoint of games. But no, I like this team. I like that they've structured themselves as a team now, and hopefully in the decisions that they make moving forward, free agency and draft, that they keep that in mind. And I think they'll potentially have a better identity. And I think they're taking a kind of a page out of new NBA that, you know what, you don't have to have multiple older superstars to push for a title.
Y'all think Kawhi is the best quiet leader in the NBA?
I know you think Durant is.
No. Answer no.
Why?
Aaron, want to go?
Please, because I think he is.
You say you think he's the best quiet leader in the NBA.
Like
You
right
mean
now,
like
today?
leading by example? Just leading by example?
I mean, we talk about all the time. When my
We're
argument for
talking about
KD,
quiet leadership. That's Steph Curry.
I wouldn't say
Good
that.
one,
'Cause
Aaron.
I
He's
wouldn't say that
quiet.
because
He's
he's not. He's
quiet.
not though. He's not. Though. When it comes to, he's
He's
not. though.
quiet.
When it comes to
He's
post game
quiet.
interviews, he's very
He's
vocal.
quiet.
Very vocal. Nigga. Come
Draymond
on
is the
now.
voice. Steph is
that
the
team.
one that leads by example.
Oh my God. Okay, but in terms of the most quiet is definitely Kawhi, because if you put him on a podium and ask him in-depth questions about the team, he's not going to respond to that. Steph at least gives perspective and knowledge in that regard, and you'll see him in all the fucking
So Steph is
team
just better at
activities.
answering questions. Is that it?
Steph's just defending what Draymond said for the most part. So he has to just keep the peace. He's keeping the peace at all times. Like no matter what it is, he's always saying the right thing. He never really pushes back. So he's a quiet leader because he doesn't give any like backlash or anything negative to the team.
Facts,
Anyways.
Murph. Sorry,
What'd you
D.
say?
I said facts, Murph and Aaron. I'm sorry, D. I think I agree. I agree with the guys. I think you're wrong on this one because what you're saying is who's quieter. That's not the question that you posed. You said who's the best quiet leader. Steph fits the frame of your question. He is a quiet leader. Is Kawhi quieter? Less talking? Yes. He doesn't talk, period. I mean, for the most part, right? But Steph is considered a quiet leader, and he is the best, the greatest quiet leader in the league today.
Quiet leadership led to 2 MVPs, 4 championships, and a Finals MVP. Kawhi's quiet leadership led to 2 championships and 2 Finals MVP. I don't know how good you are at math, but it's
This nigga.
You're right. That's very fair. Question on math is crazy though.
I mean, could Jokic go in that category too?
nah. He's
angry.
you can see he's very vocal on the court, very vocal, right? You can see him actually going back and forth with his teammates, all game, all day, all game and whatnot. You see him on the sidelines, always interacting with his teammates. It's just like in the media, he's just like, he's like, man, with these niggas, just shut the fuck up. I'm trying to go back to my ranch.
Like my horses.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. The comment started off okay.
A little airy.
took a left turn.
A little Aryan princess.
Jesus
Christ, man.
No, I ain't commenting on that. I'm
okay. She down for the Brown.
Yeah, the comment started off great. Then as soon as I read Aryan, I was like, Jesus, man.
Okay. Miami's season has gone from a fairy tale to a nightmare in less than 24 hours. They started off, finished the season at 31-0, and then lost to an 8 seed in the MAC tournament. So as players, how much does playing elite competition during the season actually prepare you for tournament pressure?
I'll take that.
Hey, this is you. You went to the Elite Eight, girl.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I did too.
I was about to say, come on.
Get your ass out this conversation. This
Thank
conversation
you.
ain't got nothing to do with you.
Sorry.
Get your
I'm
ass out
sorry,
this
Ashley. That's my
conversation.
bad.
If
Yeah,
I'm
Hall
not
of Fame, you can
mistaken,
talk shit to
it
everybody
was the
now,
year
huh?
we lost. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year we lost in the Sweet 16. The year y'all went.
Oh, the 2020?
No, 2020. What was that? 2021?
Yeah.
One of those years. But it matters. It matters. Okay, so obviously that's not a question. It matters if you play elite competition. You look at UConn on the women's side. The reason they're able to even compete in the postseason and still keep up their high level of play is because they have those mid-season Tennessee games, those mid-season South Carolina games, or else just playing the Big East is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. So elite competition, it helps a lot. You just have to. You have to have those games on your schedule.
Yeah, no, I do agree that that's something that needs to happen, especially when you're a mid-major and not necessarily in the most competitive conference for mid-major as well. But I also don't think that it takes away from the magic of their season. I also don't think it takes away from everything that they've done this year. And I think it's quite dramatic to say that it went to a nightmare off of one loss. But I don't know. I think that regardless of where you are, going 31-0 is a tough feat to make happen. So I do think that it's very important to play against elite competition. And because I think that's something that we see in other elite not conferences, other elite programs as well, is that they're preparing for the losses that they might take in their competitive conference. So they're taking it light in the preseason or like in non-conference. But I think that takes away from what you can do too. So I don't know. I think that you have to play regardless of the conference you're in. You need to prepare by playing competition in the non-conference.
Yeah.
Chris, because you did talent for a while, you scouted that. So from a scouting perspective, when a team dominates its conference but then loses that first big test, does that raise questions about how good they are?
Did he freeze?
Not really.
I think I did a little. Yeah.
Can you hear me? I did freeze a little, but can you hear me now? Yeah, I don't think it raises questions about the talent from a stem. Well, first let me back up. When you're scouting on the NBA side, you're scouting the talent, the players, individuals, not necessarily the team. But from a team perspective, backing up with what the young ladies were saying, they're right. I think the problem with this team is you don't know how good you're going to be. Portal and things of that nature.
Yeah,
I'm freezing.
exactly.
Yeah. With the portal, you don't know how good you're going to be, and so the timing on scheduling your games is typically prior to you knowing your roster, and often they're put in place a couple of years before. But just to answer your question, D, from a scouting standpoint, I think everybody expects in the teams to lose. The conference tournaments, especially, there's always going to be upsets. Most of the time, the conference favorite, the team that's favored to win, often doesn't win the actual conference tournament. And typically that's a good thing because you lose early, they see what that feel like, and then they get prepared for their run in the tournament.
I think to your question, I don't think that's the only thing that should make us question Miami of Ohio. Like we should have been questioning them since early on in the season. Like, you know what I mean? This loss so late in the season in the conference tournament isn't what's making me question their capability. Like this shouldn't be the determining factor of are they capable of winning anything else. That shouldn't have been it.
What's making you question it then?
Their conference, the close games. I mean, there's so many things wrong with this whole entire situation with the Miami of Ohio situation. Them being ranked 19th, absurd, just insane. You don't have any quad one games, not even wins. You don't have any quad one games. That should have been a question. So there's a lot for Miami of Ohio.
Aaron,
mean-
could this? I was going to say this loss before, and you can share your sentiments. But could this loss actually be the best thing that happened to them before the tournament?
Yeah, I think it can, because that pressure's off, right? That pressure of completing an undefeated season, that weight is off your shoulders. Not only that, you've lost. You know what that's like now. And like people say, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins. So if they do get a tournament bid, I feel like, that's going to, help them going forward, right? And I looked it up. I looked up to see if any undefeated team or any team with just that many wins going into the that any team that has that many wins has never made the tournament. It's never happened. The committee has never excluded a 31-win team, because they know if they did, it would be a dangerous and unprecedented standard for mid-major programs. The committee is tasked with selecting the best teams. And a team that went undefeated for 4 months, they swept their conference, was ranked 19. I know you don't like it, but they don't vote themselves in the rankings.
Yeah.
They are objectively one of the best 68 teams in the country, regardless of one 40-minute game in a conference tournament game, right? Before the UMass loss, though, like the RedHawks, the Miami RedHawks, they were elite on both ends. They ranked 6th nationally offensive rating. They aren't just a small school that I think got lucky. They are an efficient, high-powered offense that can compete with a possible high major program, depending on who they play in that first round. So if the committee wants to encourage mid-majors to schedule tough, they shouldn't punish a team that did literally everything possible, winning every single game until a quarterfinal exit. Not only that, I don't know if you guys know this, they called about 20 high major programs for the following season, going into this season, to play, but they didn't receive any callbacks. So they tried to beef up their schedule, just nobody wanted to play them.
All right. Then before we move off college conversation, with March Madness right around the corner and our partners with MyBookie kind of getting their brackets ready, I want to ask everyone on the panel that's locked in, who do you actually trust to win it all this year? And what's one team that better should be paying attention to?
I'm going to ride for my Blue Devils, but we lost Foster.
I'm gonna go Houston. I always do. I always have Houston entering my Final Four, and they usually do me justice. I just watched the game last night. For them to have that much trust in a freshman guard, excuse me, and then still have some senior guards that could pull through at the end, I'm always gonna trust Houston. That's just always one of my picks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Houston too. Go Cougs. That's where I'm at right now. So shit. Got you.
Sticking with UNC.
Losers. You lost.
Chris,
We lost by 1. We lost by 1. It was a tough game.
Come on now. Y'all already know. Spartan Dogs. You feel me? You know I got to go with my Spartan Dogs. MSU, the green and white, East Lansing, Michigan. You understand? Coach Izzo, the Izzone, the GOAT. What we talking about? But Michigan got a good team too. So either my Spartans going to get it done, but I think Michigan is going to be right there. Dusty May is doing a hell of a job. They got a real unique team. But, the greatest coach in the game, the guy that's going to figure it out, the master. We talking about Tom Izzo. What we talking about? Come on now.
And we only lost because Wilson was out. So that's the only reason why we lost. But he might be back.
Losers.
Who Murph with? Who you with, Murph?
He's
UNC.
Tar Heel.
Oh, UNC. Yeah.
Kyle, mid-roll.
Oh, I even got it pulled up real quick. I was looking at I ain't even got it pulled up. My bad.
Quick shout out to everyone locked in with us live still. Again, great questions and comments. If you're just joining the stream, I want to make sure that you hit the like button and jump in the chat. We want to hear where you stand on these topics. Aaron, take the next, please.
Got you. All right. Rumors surrounding Austin Reaves and a potential 5-year, $240 million extension have set the NBA world on fire. As of March 2026, Reaves is playing the best basketball of his career, averaging 23 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 5.5 assists, while shooting nearly 50% from the field. With Luka Dončić now in the fold and LeBron's future uncertain, the Lakers are reportedly ready to move all in on Reaves as their long-term backcourt anchor. All right, so my question for you guys, Austin Reaves could sign a 5-year, $240 million extension. Is he worth franchise player money?
No.
No, because you can't win a championship with him as your number one option. That's why I would say he doesn't deserve the franchise money. He deserves to get paid more than he's getting paid right now. But franchise money means you're the franchise guy, and you can't win a championship with him as your number one guy.
I'm easily convinced. I go ahead.
No, I like him. I want him there. Like I really think that he's proven himself. So I don't know. Like, nah. I say yeah. Give it. Fuck it. Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him.
40 for 5. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you gotta think about it like this. Yeah, he's going to be the highest paid player on the team, but we all going to know at the end of the day, it's still Luka's team.
You ain't winning
right?
a championship with either of them as the franchise player.
Hey, I ain't Rob
I
Pelinka.
know you ain't paying him. I know you're not paying him.
No. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, he's going to be the number 2 option, right? I think the biggest question, I told Chris this yesterday, I was worried about us not being able to sign him.
Okay.
And because I was thinking like, okay, if we pay him 5 years, $240 million, that means he's on the same caliber as like an all NBA player, but yet he doesn't have any all-stars or any all NBAs, and he would be making the same amount of money as a second option like J-Dub in OKC. But he would also be making more than Luka at the same time as well.
Yeah, he'll probably get an all NBA at the end of this year though.
Nah, he can't. He's not going to pass the 65 game threshold.
Didn't play. Yeah.
Yeah, he was out for like 6 weeks with that calf strain, so he's not going to get it. But my next question for the panel is: Reaves the perfect Robin to Luka's Batman?
Yes.
We need something else than Batman and Robin. Like I don't know. I don't see it. What people are seeing away from the talent. Like, I'm trying to think what the Lakers claim they want every offseason, which is a chip. I don't think that's what they're capable of getting. But if that's what you claim you want, a chip, Luka and AR, it's not going to get it done at your number 1 and 2.
I mean, Chris, you want to weigh in on this? Because you told me like you put my mind at ease when I was worried that we was going to lose him. So I need you to put your agent hat on and explain why, from a contract standpoint, this could work, because we could also sign another max player this offseason, depending on if LeBron does go ahead and leave in free agency.
Yeah. Whoa, a lot there. Let me bring it in. So the deserving part, I'll let you guys debate that. But the way that the salary cap is structured and the bird rights, you can always retain your guy. Just remember that, fans, everybody in the chat and panel. And you got to look at Reaves' situation kind of like a John Wall, Brad Beal. People felt like, oh, Brad Beal shouldn't have overpaid. Well, he's overpaid when he goes to Phoenix. But for the Wizards, he wasn't overpaid, right? You look at, people may have forgot that Jaylen Brown was the highest paid player in the NBA when he signed his extension. At that time, he signed a Supermax, playing with JT. Now, JT then turns around and he signs a Supermax. So when Luka turns around and sign, he will surpass Reaves and be the highest paid player on the team. Currently, I believe it's LeBron. So a lot of narratives here. I mean, you can sign your guy. And so the Lakers are going to do that, right? He's your guy, you sign him. But it's a little bit of this. You sign him, you figure it out, you see if it works, and then Did I freeze?
No.
Okay.
No, you good.
You figure it out, and then and then if it's not working, you can always trade players, and you also can always buy them out. So they got him. He's playing well. They're not going to risk losing him for money. Go ahead and sign him. He gets a big break. The players win on this. And kudos to Chris Paul, who was the president at the time. He is the one who structured the CBA like this because him, LeBron James, Carmelo, they were all superstars, and they wanted to stretch that gap and have those super max. They wanted to get more of the pie. So that's why it's structured like that. So does he deserve it? That's the debate. But is he going to get it? As I told you, Aaron, when you were worried about this when the season first started and he was balling and then Brown wasn't playing, I told you, man, you ain't got to worry about that when they're going to sign him. I worked with Rob Pelinka at SFX, and I knew that, that's going to be the sentiment. So that's where it is, guys.
Damn.
That's today's game.
I'm just why don't you think that we could have with them as our 1 and 2?
I'm not even playing. What's the most inanimate object y'all can name?
A pen.
Can't guard a pen. Can't guard a wall. Can't guard a fire hydrant. Can't guard the air. Can't guard the damn air. Neither of them. Like, no, it's actually bad. I've never seen worse defense from two really talented players. That's the thing that bothers me. They're not even like okay players where it's like I don't expect much from you. You do so much on the offensive end, and you can't guard at all. You would have to bring in 5 of the best defenders you could find to somewhat do something. That's my only problem.
That bad? I know Luka's that bad, but is Reaves that bad?
Reaves is not as bad as Luka.
I'm about to say Luka's terrible. Like defensively, Luka's terrible, but like when it comes
Not a froze just now. Hold on.
Are you back?
Okay, you're back. Yeah,
I don't think
Reaves
is that bad.
No, yeah. I don't think Reaves is as bad as Luka. All right, but
you got to think of who Reaves is going to be guarding.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got to guard him too.
At the 2, you can't go 20 for 20. That's canceled out. It don't mean nothing. You can't go 30 for 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to guard people like Ant-Man and shit like that.
That's not happening.
JB.
JB.
Come on.
Yeah. That guard position is scary.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
So I think that the offensive end, they're Gucci. They could get it done, but especially if LeBron leaves, you're gonna have to find some other defense. And he halfway guarding right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But speaking of another guy who you also used to be a max player, Dwight Howard formally announced his retirement from the NBA, closing the book on one of the most physically dominant and polarizing careers in NBA history. Already a 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, Dwight's retirement serves as a final reminder of a peak that very few in the history of the sport have ever reached. Question for the panel: is Dwight Howard the most underrated superstar of the 2000s?
I don't think he's underrated. I think he got the credit he deserved. I mean, he could have gotten more credit, but I don't think he was to the point where it was underrated. Like people were comparing him to Shaq, and he had the dunk contest 2008 where that just fucking rocket shipped him up like higher level. But I think it kind of like when he got a little bit of a downfall is when the whole Kobe thing happened, when he teamed up with Kobe and that like narrative of him joking too much and everything popped up. But I think for his career, like Dwight was that guy. I think he's a second behind Shaq when it comes to dominance in the post. So
in the 2000s, you're talking about
in the 2000s, like for the era that he played in. Yeah.
I thought he said all the time. I was like,
no.
The hate was coming for you, Murph.
I should have reiterated the question about the 2000s, but yes, in the 2000s.
You said he's not underrated, but he wasn't even on the NBA 75 list.
Yeah,
I think he's underappreciated.
Underappreciated. I don't believe in these lists. These lists that they come out are bogus 9 times out of 10, but definitely underappreciated, but not underrated.
Yeah, I think he's underappreciated for sure. Because like most people most historians of the game, they agree on the top 5: Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, Shaq, Hakeem. Those are like the untouchables in a sense, right? Dwight has 5 All-NBA first teams, and to put that in perspective, that is more than these NBA's top 75 members: Chris Paul, D Wade, Kevin Garnett, and Steph Curry had at the time when that list came out, right? He's the only player in NBA history to win Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row. He retired 10th all-time in rebounds, 13th all-time in blocks. So players with his combination of stats and peak dominance are historically locks for top anniversary teams. And from 2008 to I say about 2012, Dwight Howard was a top 3 player in the league. He finished second in MVP voting once in 2011 and was the undisputed best defender in the league for, I'd say, half a decade. So, I mean, I feel like what you said earlier, many argued Dwight was kind of left off because of that whole Lakers stint that he had and the whole Houston stint. And then next thing you know, he was in Charlotte. Next thing you know, he was in Washington, Atlanta, and stuff like that. But he was objectively a top 50 player, let alone top 75.
Yeah, and you saying that, you guys, both of you saying that, that's kind of what pisses me off, because I think as the masses start looking at people's careers, I think that's one thing. Ashley, you talked about, we're looking at rings. I think that's also something we need to stop involving in the conversation, is that we let team changes and personality debates and fucking locker room narratives start to overshadow how dominant a player was at their best. Because to me, and you guys know this, like, I appreciate Dwight probably, I don't know, he's definitely up there in terms of people I appreciate the most in the world. I think he was the most physically imposing fucking center of this modern era, for being very specific, Chris. And then you talk about him not, being included on that 75 list. It's like one of those decisions that make you question how we actually how we actually start to look at what is greatness in professional sports, right? Are we judging it at the peak, the numbers, the impact, or is that narrative, that follows a player later in the career what we're also weighing heavily? So I think it's so dumb, bro, because you just look at dominance in the paint. Dwight Howard was fucking crazy. And then defensively too, like, you don't get those awards just for nothing unless you're Rudy Gobert, right? So I think he definitely belongs in that conversation.
Thank you. I love that.
Damn.
I got a question though. You said his dominance and everything, it's undeniable, which I agree. But how long do you think that dominance was sustained?
5-6 years.
Shit, he came in the league in what, 04? So from
Yep.
04 to probably 11. So that's what, 7 years. And then he was dominant in Charlotte. So let's add another year to that. And that was later in his career. So 8 years in the league. So I would say, and he had stints of it. He showed stints of it somewhere else. So like, I think damn near a decade in the league, if you combine all those years.
And he was
I agree with
undersized too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he said he was what, actually 6'9" or something like that. 6'9".
He admitted
Which
on
makes
this,
it
on
even
this pod,
crazier.
I'm only 6'9".
Yeah.
You're 1 inch above LeBron, and you're able to do that, be that person. So yeah.
I mean, I agree with the narrative that's built around players that ends up putting like kind of a mark on their career, but like I don't think that's ever going to go away. Like, people are always chasing to see what's bad, and bad news sells. So like when that Kobe situation happened, like it was like, what the fuck is his name? Dwight. He's not this, he's not that. He doesn't take things seriously. He's a joke. And then so it kind of put that narrative on it, and it came from Kobe, which is very like credible at the time. And so it's just like, I want to say I don't believe in putting the narratives and looking past that, because like what he did on the court is undeniable. But at the same time, it's like it's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. So like it's unfortunately a part of how you judge somebody's career, is the narrative that was built around them.
Yeah.
There's many superstars that are superstars are in that topic. Like we just talked about Draymond the other day. Like Draymond has done great things for his entire career, but at the same time, the fans are like, Draymond sucks, and they forget everything that happened because of the narrative that is built around him. So it's just something that's always going to stay around.
But to be fair, when it comes to him, he also that narrative is because of what he's done on the court, or like actually in the spotlight. It's not necessarily stuff that's just been said. We've seen it. We've seen everything that the narrative is around him.
Yeah. We were also the ones like creating the narrative. That narrative, like you said, came from Kobe. Like we not just you said, we know it came from Kobe. And anyone who didn't think like Kobe didn't take basketball serious. That's what I don't like about it, is that it came from Kobe, and we should all know if you didn't have the Mamba mentality, you didn't take basketball serious in his eyes. So that's why that narrative should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think Dwight is like somewhere between maybe 8 and 12, 10 and 12, somewhere around there as greatest centers. I think his as everyone has said, his personality has overshadowed his career by far. But his peak was definitely louder than people remember. And that's the problem. It's like your peak was early. It was with your first team. You didn't stay there. You didn't win a championship. And then you started floating and moving. The Mamba thing didn't help. It's funny because that same sentiment, Kobe to Dwight, might have been a similar situation that might have crushed this player's career in self-esteem, was Michael Jordan to Kwame Brown. Like, Kwame Brown being drafted number 1 and got destroyed by Jordan from jump. And it's like he never could get over it. You know what I mean? So it's like you got a legendary Hall of Fame GOAT category type guy saying you ain't shit. It's hard to get out of that. It's hard to get out of that perception.
No,
but
Kwame had it worse. He went from Jordan and then to Kobe.
So
he thought Kobe was going to be, a little bit softer. He doubled down.
Doubled down. Yeah, worst luck ever, right?
Worst luck ever.
I'm only curious because Dwight ranked himself at 6. I have him at 6 or 7. Chris, you have him in the 8 to whatever range. Yeah. Who do you have above him?
Oh my God.
Because I have Kareem, Built. Oh my God. Kareem, Bill, Wilt, Shaq, and Hakeem.
Yeah,
and then I have Dwight.
These guys. Yeah, we listed these guys on the last pod.
Yeah.
While we pull that up, I didn't know that he needed an official retire. I didn't know this was necessary, and then this is the worst time to be doing that with what's going on. I didn't know this was necessary, and then everything going on, you dropped the retirement now. Like you were already you were never getting. It was done. It was done.
Yeah, hope. Like Carmelo. Yeah, hope.
You got beef from Carmelo?
No. He said like Carmelo.
Damn.
I forgot you're from. Nah, I like.
You got people Carmelo.
I like Melo, but his retirement came mad late too when we already knew it was over. That's all I'm saying.
But that's the new NBA, right? I got a quote: players don't retire from the NBA or sports. Players don't retire from sports. Sports retire you. I mean, we got the same thing with Chris Paul. Chris Paul announced his retirement doing All-Star Weekend, right? How about John Wall when he announced after trying to get in the NBA for multiple years, hey, by the way, I retired. Like, you guys were retired by the league. And it is what it is. You were retired by basketball, and so you accept it. You just got to a point where you accepted that. So, yeah, that's the new NBA.
Still waiting on that list.
Oh, shit. I definitely got Kareem, Russell, Wilt, Shaq, Olajuwon,
Dwight.
Over him. I got Moses Malone. I got David Robinson. So that's 7. So then now he comes in that Patrick Ewing, Jokic, and others. Willis Reed, like he's in the mix with it. Like most people are gonna pick Jokic over him. So now that's 8 over him. Patrick Ewing, man, I don't necessarily know that Dwight was better than Patrick Ewing. So I think Dwight comes in after that. So like I say, he's in that 8 to 12, man. Like all those guys are better than Dwight.
So the only reason you could have.
Go ahead, you got it there.
No, what were you gonna say? I heard ignorant. I like that word.
Ignorant statement. I don't know. I just don't put Wilt and Bill in there. I just always put them in a separate side. Not that they're bad. I just put them on a different side. Like I just put them in as trailblazers. Like over here. Like they're just in a different league of greatness. I just don't. We got video of Wilt blocking his own teammate just to get the rebound, like just to get a bucket. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it was a different type of greatness. So I just feel like once the game really became the game and people started respecting it, that you take Wilt and Bill and you put them on the other side, then you make a list.
Please
You don't
let's not
discredit
have this
them.
conversation today, please.
You don't discredit them. You don't
Please.
discredit them. I'm just saying you just put them to the side. That's it.
So
That's not ignorant.
So let me ask you this. So I graduated engineering. My wife's an engineer. Technology has evolved where you don't have to hand draw architects and things of that nature. You don't have to use the small tools, if you will, to draw, to make curves, to determine angles and things of that nature. But in the past, you had to do that. So the individuals that had to think it through, the individuals that had to use small tools to figure out angles and design and texture and things of that nature. Engineering was whack then. Yeah, like y'all don't really know what you're doing, because now we got a tool that does all that. All I got to do is type in the angle, what I want to do, and then the tool does it for me. The computer, if you will, there's an app or a system that does that for me. So the person that's using that system is now greater and better because now they designed some new high-tech shit with some different flows. They're better as an engineer or a designer or an architect than the person that was doing it by hand. That's essentially your sentiment.
No, it's not, because I didn't say discredit them. I said just put them to a different side. They're trailblazers. Like, which one would you rather? Would you rather the tool you use today, or would you rather the protractor you had to use in the past? So it's like, I'm just saying it's not, don't discredit them. Somebody had to do it. Somebody had to start it. And that's Bill and Wilt. Now you're not taking, there's many players you're taking before them. We're giving them respect, and we respect them, and we appreciate what they did because they started it. But at the end of the day, I don't think you're picking Shaq. Or you're not picking Bill Russell over Shaq. It's just not happening. You're going to give him respect-wise, yes, but you're not picking Bill Russell over Shaq. He was 6'9", 260. Like Shaq's 7.
I'm not saying that Bill Russell is better than Shaq. The question was about, if you pay attention to the question was about who's better than Dwight, and everyone on that list is better than Dwight. You separated those two and moved them to the side. So your argument would be,
my argument was that to put Dwight in the top 10. That was the reason why I separate them, because the people who are
taking them out,
to take them out, to move them to the side, not drop them lower, to take them out, and then you put Dwight at top 10. You got Kareem, Shaq, Hakeem, Jokic. There's no order. Moses Malone, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Dwight, Doris Gervin, Bill Walton. Like, that's why I'm saying you move them to the side, because it's not, if you're talking about legacy and longevity of somebody's stuff, like, yes, they're legendary players. They're legendary. They did what they had to do. They started basketball. They brought some light to basketball. But you said it yourself. Basketball was a recorded, and then came back on until Bird and Magic had the little fight. So I respect them, but no one respected them when they played. No one respected no one respected what they were doing at the time they were doing it. So now that we have technology, that we could use the analogy used, now we have technology, we can go back and speak upon it. Now we're just like, oh, actually, they're the best ever to do it. No, they're not. They were just pioneers.
See, this is why people be jumping on your head in the comments. You just be
because I'm right. How is that wrong?
Okay, let's dive into it. Because you just be saying shit. It's not. You didn't live in that time. I didn't either. But saying that nobody respected them is complete bullshit, right? You don't respect them because you got to Google and do some work to determine how good they were.
Too. You just said you weren't there.
Clearly, I do. Clearly, I do. But I'm a historian. I'm all about understanding those beforehand. That being said, so that's like saying, so the pyramids were built. Do you think the pyramids are awesome?
The pyramids you can't use that because the pyramid structure is the best structure. The pyramid structure you can't recreate today. So that's not a good example. That's what I'm talking about. You can't recreate
Why
that.
Can't you recreate it? Why can't you recreate it?
Because they were better engineered then than they were now. What are you talking about?
Oh,
They were better engineers.
so they could be better back then in the past. So why the fuck can a player be better than a
Because
person?
you're talking
today?
about building a structure and you're talking about basketball. Like that's a bad analogy. What do you like?
How
like,
the
come
fuck
on,
is
like,
that a bad analogy?
because
You can be better in
the
that
pyramids
scenario in
can't
the
be-
past
the pyramids can't be recreated now, but
because
Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain have been surpassed in their talent. So what are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. Like you're trying to say stuff like, I'm not talking shit. It's facts.
it ain't
People-
facts. It's an opinion. First of all, it's not
Alright.
facts. It's not facts.
is-
It's an opinion.
Hey.
Let's get that straight. Understand? You got a
Hey,
dictionary.
alright.
It ain't facts.
We'll-
It's an opinion.
we'll never
So it
get
is
rid of
your opinion. It is your opinion that however many other people
Alright.
agree with you. But and then secondly, stay on point with the conversation. The conversation is about the top 75. The NBA don't come out and say, hey, we're going to do a top 75, but we're going to remove the first 25 years of the game, and then we're going to make our top 75 based on that. That has nothing to do with the question. That's not the topic, and that's not what we're talking about. You yourself are removing them. You yourself are pulling them to the side. And hold on, young pup. You yourself are pulling them to the side. You yourself are determining, I'm moving them to the side, and I'm going to move them to put Dwight in the top 10. But Dwight ain't in the top 10. Dwight ain't in the top 75. So you pushing your argument, and I respect your argument. But don't say it's facts, and this is what it is. And they wasn't shit, and nobody respected them because they were respected. They had a voice, and they were very much respected because Bill was one of the ones that was legendary in speaking on social justice and things of that nature. So they were heavily respected.
words. You're taking certain words. What I'm saying.
Say the right words.
I was saying no one respected it because it was a recorded broadcast. It wasn't broadcast live, so it wasn't appreciated. All right, it wasn't appreciated at the time for what they have done for basketball, what they did for basketball, because it
That
was
is
a recorded
entertainment,
broadcast.
Kyle. That's called entertainment. Things evolve. Do you ever go to a restaurant? You in DC, you have a restaurant. That restaurant got to get hot. There's marketing. There's all type of other things that have to go with that scenario in order for that restaurant to be hot or for you to continue to go there, or that club or wherever you visit. There's marketing and things that got to get the word out. That's the same thing with basketball. Basketball wasn't a sport. This is America. We live in the United States. What was the sport here? Baseball. Baseball was the sport here. Then you got American football. That's the sport. So basketball had to find its time. Magic and Bird did that and then took it to another level. That's just evolving. That's not respect. It wasn't respected. That's not what it is.
I didn't even have to argue today. That was great.
I
Usually
hope
it's
Dwight
me.
knows. Yeah.
Hey, I'm good. And
Good. Oh, you know I love Murph. That's my
like I
nephew.
said,
We
it's all
good.
opinionated. I just said in respects to the question, if you put them to the side, not lower them, you put them to the side, you can add the other ones after the game got more talented, after the entirety of the game got more talented.
So Dwight is top 10.
I think you can make an argument Dwight's top 10.
There's no argument. Yes or no?
Yes. In my book, yes, Dwight's top 10.
You're into top 10.
Yeah, I got him somewhere at like between 8 and 10, somewhere between there.
Chris, you already said you have him 8 to 10. Ashley have.
Yeah, top 10.
I'm cool with the top 10. You can even include
Bill
Bill.
and Will.
Yeah, you can. I think he's top 10 with them included.
All right. With that, that's going to wrap up the show for tonight. I first want to thank everybody on this panel for obviously the energy and the insight. Amazing. And a bigger shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys were active, kept the debates going all night, and we appreciate every comment. For those that have actually locked in with us since the beginning, please reach out to me at info@entirelymedia.com, because there's some small gifts that we would like to give out to you guys. If you enjoyed the conversation tonight, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone who loves basketball the way we do. We'll be back next week on Monday with more WNBA and NBA conversations. So until next time, have a good night. Have a good morning.